Richard, great to finally meet you. How are you feeling less than 2 weeks out from your Weber Cup debut?
Yeah, I'm feeling quite excited about it. New experience. I feel like I've done quite a few things in bowling. I've gone to Europe, gone to the PBA, made it on TV, but that one lane environment is something special, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Let's take it back a little bit and tell us a little bit about that call from Dom when he gave you the nod.
It was an awesome experience. I knew I had a small chance. I knew I had a really good season this year. So Dom had messaged me. He was at home and I was in the US. So he messaged me saying, "Are you home yet?" And I was like, "No." And I was like, "Oh, this could be something special." I got home. I was in the middle of quarantine, and he rings me and he goes, "You home yet?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he gave me the phone call, and I was really happy and can't believe it's happening.
Must have made quarantine that much bit better.
Oh yeah, no, those 14 days went real quick.
You mentioned to us earlier in an earlier interview that you'd grown up watching the Weber Cup on Sky Sports, living in the UK, of course.
Yeah.
Does it feel surreal knowing that in a few weeks you'll be pulling on that famous European jersey?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely going to be an experience for sure. I've grown up, like you say, watching some of the previous bowlers. You know, your Paul Moores, especially from England, Phil Scammell, I believe, made it. Torrey Torgerson, Thomas Janssen, all those guys. I idolise those names, and I'm just super excited to be able to stand in those guys' shoes and represent Europe as well as they have.
And to those Weber Cup fans who might not know too much about you, what can they expect from you when you step onto that single lane setup?
So when I stand up, I'll be quite subdued at the start. You know, it's going to be my first time, so I'm going to be relatively nervous. But once I get comfortable, and my true colours are definitely going to shine. In the PBA league, I got a little fiery, and I got a bit excited, and that's truly who I am. You know, I just got to get past those nerves, and once I'm there, it's going to be a really good tournament. For sure.
Looking at the teams as a whole, are you particularly close with any of the players both on Team Europe and Team USA on the PBA Tour?
Yeah, definitely. I've been really good friends with all of them pretty much. I've travelled Europe with Anthony Simonson, and we got some good stories there. We can tell. Known Carl for a long time, and especially with Europe as well. Being on the European Tour, I bowled the Swedish leagues and stuff, so I know Jesper really well. I even actually bowled with Thomas Larsson's Danish team too, so I know pretty much everyone on both sides, so it's going to be a good, nice, friendly, see some faces, friendly faces to see. Yeah.
When you step out on that single lane, as you mentioned earlier, in front of those home fans as well, the fans down the side of the lane as well, will it be nerves, excitement? What's going to be those initial feelings?
I definitely feel like it's going to be nerves. I feel like I've got, you know, like I said, big shoes to fill. I've got to make sure I perform really well, and like you say, having eyes on you from the side is definitely going to be a new experience. The only times I've been on TV, they've either been from the foul line behind, so the eyes have never been really looking directly at me as I throw a shot. So I definitely feel like I've got to perform early, like I said, and get comfortable, and once I'm comfortable, it's going to be a good show.
Looking back to 2020, Richard, obviously probably a few areas where it went wrong for Europe. What do you think went wrong personally, and what can be done to rectify that this year?
Yeah, after sitting at home and watching it, of course, because of the fans not being there, I did notice that they got off to a bit of a slow start. USA really got there going quickly and getting under the pressure, completely loose, and they were really good. I honestly believe it has something to do with the lane pattern choice. I think they went for a little bit of a longer pattern from what I can remember, and obviously with the new younger guys throwing it with throwing it two hands, the extra rev rate, they really got off to a hot start. So we kind of need to make sure that we reverse that, and this year we pick the right pattern and make sure that we can beat them early and get going, get our feet under.
Looking at Europe's team last year, Thomas Larsson, it was his debut for Team Europe, probably one of the shining lights from Team Europe last year. Does that give you confidence heading in as a rookie this year?
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely set the bar on how to react, and being a true rookie, and making sure you get off to a great start. He's knowing Thomas for a long while. He had a really good season this season. He won the USBC Masters. He's definitely performing well. So he's just, since that moment of being selected for for Team Europe. I feel like it's been a stepping stone, him really getting back into fantastic bowling. I'm hoping for the same for myself.
Have you spoken to Thomas about that experience yet, now that you've got the nod for Team Europe and some of that rookie experience that he gained from 2020?
Yeah, I mentioned it to him while we were out in the US. Like, it could be a possibility I might make it. It could be me on the team. He's like, what was it like and stuff? And he's given me a few tips and stuff, and how it's going to pan out and what's going to happen, and just look forward to the moment and enjoy the moment. And he said the one lane environment can be intimidating, but it can be also your best friend once you start performing.
You mentioned earlier that after a few games the fire can come out inside you. Obviously the Weber Cup's famous for loads of smack talk between Team USA and Team Europe. Is that something you think you'd engage in, or do you think you'll sort of step back from that?
I'm definitely a subdued one. I'm not into the trash talking. I do like to shout, but I don't like to direct it into anyone or towards anyone. I feel like I'm the nice British guy when it comes to those kind of scenarios. So I'll be fiery, but I won't be directing it towards anybody.
You'll leave that stuff to Stu Williams then?
Oh, Stu is unbelievable for that. He's definitely a good asset for the Team Europe, that's for sure. Yeah.
Have you and the team had much time to get together, either virtually or in person, now that the full team's been announced, to talk about this year's plans and what you're going to do?
Yeah, no, definitely. In the last couple of weeks leading up to the event, we're definitely going to be talking strategies, especially with the lane pattern choices and stuff like that. With Team USA having only Chris Barnes with his thumb inside the bowling ball, we're definitely thinking, with only Jesper on our side having his thumb out of the bowling ball, we're definitely deciding on what to choose in regards to lane patterns and how we're going to attack them, and definitely we're going to be talking about those kind of tactics and scenarios.
And looking at USA, as you mentioned there, they've had a little run of dominance in the Weber Cup, stretching back to 2018. Does that make you feel nervous, or do you think that puts more pressure on them that they've got this streak going?
I definitely believe that they've got something to prove, especially like you say, they are two-time champions now, three-time champions now. That they've got to try and keep that going. Streaks end, and it's going to happen this year. Now I'm involved, I'm definitely going to try and make it my mission to help Dom and the rest of the team out to make it so that it comes and stays this side of the pond.
And obviously being based in the UK, I imagine you'd have lots of friends and family come to watch you in the Morningside Arena in Leicester this month. What would it mean for you to help Europe finally get their hands back on that trophy?
Oh, it would mean the world to me. Like you say, knowing a lot of people in the UK growing up and bowling in this scene over in this country, we're going to have a lot of support. Like you say, the environment is going to be leaning towards our way. So I'm hoping that having that backing and support is going to be a huge factor when it comes to retaining that title for Team Europe.